Hello, I'm Mason W. Brister, Ph.D.
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 Hello, I'm Mason W. Brister, Ph.D. It's been a while, but here I am again, returning to my roots of scientific education with the topic of genetic modification. Now, what exactly is genetic modification, you may be asking? And to that I answer, what do you think we're doing here? I'll get to that in a minute, alright? Be patient. Moron. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Genetic engineering is when the DNA of an organism is deliberately modified to benefit us in some way. Now, this can be in the form of selective breeding or a more direct approach by actively engineering the organisms, with the power of science. There are some misconceptions about genetic modification, so let's just address the hard facts before moving on to the moral implications of it. One of the most notable applications of genetic engineering is in plants, mainly food sources. A lot of plants are engineered to be herbicide and insecticide resistant, but there are other additions to it too. But if you're one of those people who constantly preach against GMO unconditionally, yeah, I'd like to see you eat a banana with seeds in it. Ugh. But yes, resistances to chemical sprays are, generally speaking, the most common use in genetic modification. This is where things get a little funky. Let's head over to our underpaid friend, Guy Anchorman. Now, can you elaborate on your thoughts toward herbicide and insecticide application in crop production?
I just think instead of making all the plants resistant to all the chemicals and stuff, maybe they shouldn't use it at all.
That's a fair point on a general level, but you do have to understand that using these chemicals is the easiest, fastest, and most convenient way to safely produce crops, health concerns aside.
It's not worth the risk. I mean, using stuff like that can be dangerous. Some herbicides can cause cancer.
That is true, you do have a point.
My dad was actually killed by a cancer.
Really? I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, we should have seen it coming. Dad was a Sagittarius.
Sorry, what?
It was heartbreaking.
I don't think that...
When were you born?
July 16th, why?
You son of a...
Let's move on to a slightly different type of genetic engineering, selective breeding. It's used in the fields of both plant and animal agriculture, but for now I'm just going to talk about the animal side of things. Many breeds of dogs, as well as countless livestock like cows, pigs, chickens, whatever, are bred for specific purposes. Many dogs, for example, are bred for herding. Herding dogs are bigger, faster, and stronger than most other non-purebred dogs. Except this guy. He's a lazy old oaf. There are also hunting dogs like hounds, who are usually bred for their superior sense of hearing, among other things. And then there's terriers. These little ankle biters are usually bred for hunting rodents. Nobody likes these guys. Generally speaking, selective breeding is a much less touchy subject, but sometimes even animals can be specially engineered with, you guessed it, the power of science. For lack of a better phrase, these embryonic DNA adjustments are exactly what they sound like. This is where scientists will take a developing unborn animal and put silly chemicals in it to see what happens. For example, some absolute whack jobs who probably never saw Jurassic Park have been injecting chicken eggs with recreated DNA of ancient dinosaurs based on samples found frozen and preserved in glaciers. Seriously, like, why would you even do that? Or sometimes, it's just something bizarre and totally messed up, like that time scientists injected human reproductive cells into a friggin' monkey fetus. I genuinely don't know how to react to this information, it's just... ugh. And now we get into animal cloning, which seems to have the most buzz around it in recent years. Now, I should make it clear that cloning isn't really like you see in movies and stuff. Instead of being exact duplicates of a living organism, it's more like a twin sibling. It's not determined to think the same way, and it could possibly end up with certain differences from the original. The only traits it directly inherits from the original animal are genetic ones. That being said, the DNA is identical to that of the original, but that's really the only similarity. Mental stimulation and physical condition are completely independent variables here, but still, many uneducated people can't help but voice their concerns. What's up, my loyal foil heads? It's Conspiracy Carl back with another banger uninformed accusation. With the use of animal DNA cloning becoming so mainstream in the last decade or so, many advancements are being made in the fields of DNA research, And I think it's fair to assume that the US government could very well be in an elaborate scheme to clone government figures, allowing them to live indefinitely and hold office for the rest of time. This could be why Joe Byron managed to get so frickin' old. Every time he dies of old age, another clone takes his place. That's right, loyal foil heads. Don't listen to any of these so-called scientists and folks who actually did their research. Just remember, stay safe, stay smart, and keep that good old aluminium wrapped tight around your noggin. This is Conspiracy Carl signing off. And if that pesky government comes a-knockin', just be sure to let 'em know you didn't hear anything from me. Conspiracy Carl out. I think that just about wraps up all the important notes. But before we head off, let's get some opinions from some kind volunteers that almost certainly pay to be here.
I don't trust genetic modification stuff. I read in my horoscope that...
Thank you for your time, sir. I think, if used responsibly, of course, genetic engineering could really benefit us in the future. Yeah, about that thing with the monkey fetus or whatever, that was an artificial insemination, right? Right? I'm onto your dirty scheme, Zach Marvinberg. I know you're the one funding the whole thing. Hyperlink blocked. Well, I think they should clone me, and my clone can co-star with me. Yeah, A Tale of Two Soapies. Man, I can see the trailer now. How did you get in here? I'm in the middle of writing for today's broadcast. What are your thoughts on genetic engineering? Oh, well, I've actually been writing an article about that. You see... Well, that's about all the time we have for today. As always, I'm Mason W. Brister, Ph.D., signing off. I'll see you next time. Yeah, not me is making a dramatic debut in this episode. I think this camera angle might work. I might lower it a bit. Okay, don't do that. You look like a Bond villain. That's a fair point on a general level, but you do have to understand that using these chemicals is the easiest, fastest, and most convenient way to safely produce crops, health concerns aside.
It's not worth the risk.
That's the camera changed.
There's words there.
It says close-up on interviewee, that's where the camera changes. That take sucked anyway.
I thought that was someone else's line.
That's a fair point on a general level, but you do have to understand that using these chemicals is the... Why are you laughing? Stop making your face look like that, alright? I can't concentrate. This is gonna take the entire time that I'm here. This is gonna be like 3 hours. Where are you going? Bro! We're gonna take a moment to observe this goofy goober in his natural habitat.
I didn't do anything.
You did. Action. Really? I'm sorry about that. That's not funny. Why are you laughing? This is what I have to. This is why I film alone. This is why I only do these with myself. Talking to myself is much more productive than dealing with this. All right? It's not because I have no friends.
When were you born?
No way! That was actually perfect. I wasn't intending for you to start yet, but that was really good delivery. If you can do that with the same intensity, but you probably won't because we already started laughing. Put your foot down. Put your foot down.
I said that as a joke. You really wanted it that threatening?
No, but it was just really funny. That was endearing. All right. I'm gonna do the dramatic zoom in like I did before as well. All right. 3, 2, 1.
When were you born?
No. That was good. That was close. That was close. Just sound really.
No,
close.
it's just because I started laughing, bro. I can't.
Is it because it's getting too close to your face?
Yes.
All right. Well then, we'll do it
I'm
again.
not good with
I'm not good with your face either. All right. Let's do this. This is actually not bad. All right. Ready? That's great. That's the line. You did it perfectly. I'm proud of you.
If only my parents could.
You're not even in this scene. How are you ruining it? Go away. Go into. What did you just, bro? Was it me staring at you? Is that it?
No, I was questioning life.
Are you questioning every decision that led you to this moment?
Yep.
I'm just questioning why you suddenly have boxing gloves, but it's funny.
I never noticed that.
Maybe those are just your hands.
Yeah, I was born with this. This is a birth defect that, balloons.
High quality filmmaking.
Hamster.
The sequel, Dancing Asian Man. Coming soon.